Okay, good evening, everyone. Please, is my screen visible? All right, thank you very much, Richard. Thank you, Susan. Okay, okay, so we'll be continuing from where we stopped, in last class. The last class, we were trying to create a dashboard for this bike sales company, right? But because of time, we were unable to finish that dashboard. So we'll be doing that now before we go to extracting observations and recommendations from the dashboard. Okay, so how many of you made any attempts to even touch the dashboard at all to try and make any change or anything at all? You guys can unmute too. Uh, you can unmute, please.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. That is Luca.
So
Hi.
the last class by the time we were taking the last class, I was extremely tired and I slept off.
Oh,
So I was hoping I was going to see the video, like the link, and then be able to like really listen and understand and then try it. But I waited and waited, and unfortunately, this weekend it felt like all man to his tent. So, but yeah, I definitely know that I can go back to like the YouTube channel and check out for some of them. But yeah, my weekend was also very busy, so I didn't do that. But I'm
okay.
hoping to do better now.
Okay, it's all right. Thank you for your feedback. Okay, and yeah, we do have. No, I think we have another video. I think about two on dashboard creation. All right.
Okay.
The last class there was a lot of interruption, so the videos need to be worked upon before posting. Um,
Okay.
okay, so
Thank you.
I sent a workbook to the group. So you guys should just download it. The workbook contains this dashboard. We didn't finish it, so this is just like a rough sketch. That's what the workbook contains. So you can just work on it. All right. So what we just did, just like for a small recap, what we did in the last class was just creating pivot table. All right, that is inserting a pivot table and a pivot chart. You understand? So you just click on an empty cell, you go to insert, then you come here, pivot chart and pivot table is what we did. Select it, then it will ask you for table or range. That is where you want the table in which you want the pivot chart to be referred to, where the data is that is going to be summarized in the pivot table, right? And I remember we saved our table as bike sales, so that anytime we need to make use of that particular data, we just type the name here instead of going back and highlighting the whole range. So, and when we did that, the pivot table field appeared like this, and the pivot chart also appeared like this. And I said, after doing this, you can simply go to the side. You see where you have pivot chart fields, but then you select the fields you want to be displayed on the pivot table. It could be product, it could be country, and the rest. All right. And what we did in the last class, we did for revenue by country, sales by age group, profit by country, then revenue by product. All right. So after creating the pivot table and pivot chart, we cut the pivot chart using Control X and moved them to the next sheet. which is this particular sheet where we wanted to prepare our dashboard on. Right, so this is just what we did. I think there was one we did not do that I know I would have really wanted to do because it's actually very important in your dashboard, which was using our line chart to create using our line chart for trend analysis to just show the trend in sales. All right, so maybe what I'll do is I'll just do one example just to refreshing your memory. I would do one that we did in the previous class. So let's say this is revenue by country. All right, so I'll redo this profit by country. So I'll just take it out of here then. This profit by country, I'll take it out. All right, so I'm going to do profit by country again. So I need to also look for the pivot table just to refresh your memory. Profit by country. So I think this chart is covering it. Yeah. So this is profit by country. I'll just take it out. I just people that were not following. There was a lot of interruptions in the last class. So I'm taking out profit by country. So this is what we did. After inserting the pivot table, you can just go and click on the pivot table. All right. Then you come to immediately click on it. You come to this edge here. There's two options. Either you format your pivot table or you work on the data. And what we want to work on is the data, that is the field. All right. So you can see this option. This anyway you see paint bucket, just know that it has to do with formatting the table, maybe adding colors, borderline, and the rest. All right. So we want to work with the data. So work with pivot table fields, which is here. In case it happens like that in some of use Excel. All right. So that showed me the fields back, and I said I want to put in profit by total profit by country. Yeah, total profit by country. All right, so this is the profit. So this is simply what we did the previous day. That was on Friday. So when we're formatting the chart, we just selected the chart, went to the side here. All right, so we took out the legend, which is that total that was there. Then the grid lines. Let me zoom in so you guys can see well. When you want to format it, when you want to this cross that is here, that's what you tap. All right. Then you take off the grid lines. It's those lines you are seeing on the chart. You can take off the grid lines. Allow me to. So as you've taken off the grid lines, then on the chart, you see where you have sum of profit here and country. So we don't want this to be here because it's making our chart look not nice. All right, it's taking space. So you can just click on it. When you click on it, you take your arrow to it, your cursor to it, then you right click. Come here, yeah. Then you right click. Where we have sum of profit. I'm trying to, yeah. Oh, it came up just now. Okay, so when you right click, it will bring out this option for you. And then when it brings out the option, you will just click on hide all field button on chat. So anything that you take everything out. Okay, so this looks okay. We can name our chart. So we can name this profit by country. profit by country. All right. Then we also need to name our pivot table, because when we're working with slicers, we need to ensure that we're actually slicing the right table. Right. So if you want to name your pivot table, you just click on the pivot table like this. All right. Then we'll go to pivot table analyze. Then you go to pivot table here and then you name it. So we're going to name our table profit by country. All right. So that's it for this one. Then you can see it's not looking nice. It's actually difficult to make a very good comparison here. So we can also come here and just sort it. We just come when you want to sort, you go to this drop down beside the row labels here. Then let me take this off. That was moving too fast. So we'll go to this drop down beside the row labels here. Then we'll come down to more sort options. And then we'll say, okay, let's say we want to sort by ascending. So we'll select what we want to sort, which is the sum of the profit here. And okay. So I think this looks better for us. Then we copied it, we cut it and moved it to the next page. But before we do that, instead of doing it one after the other, all right? So we can also just use the opportunity to just create another pivot table for the trend. That is, we need to work with the date on this table. I think from here you can see that the only month here is December. So we're analyzing the bike sales for only December. All right, so it's actually good to show trend. Trend is very, very important. It's one of the major things you want to ensure you add to your dashboard. All right, so same process. You click on an empty space. You go to your insert, pivot chart, and pivot table. So we're working with bike sales. Yeah, you can also use the same process you used yesterday on Friday, where you copy it and paste. Ufoma, ask your question.
Thank you. That's like your table now, for example, there's the dollar sign on it, on the
Yeah.
numbers that are there. I remember when I was trying to create my private chat, the moment I changed the figure to have that dollar sign, it couldn't show on the pivot chart. So I was wondering why that issue was coming up. But when I returned it back to normal, the figures were showing.
I don't really know, but what you can do is, that is why they say data cleaning is very important to reduce the number of formatting or editing you do on your pivot table. Most of the work should not be done on the pivot table. The only thing you might need to maybe do on your pivot table is has to do with your summary. Maybe you want to say you want to do an average, or you want to do a percentage. So that is what you should be doing in your pivot table. When it comes to all those data types, you do it on your table. All right. So you just go to the table and then try to change it from here. You understand? So you can see here now the format is already currency. This is my table. You get? This is my table. It was numbers before, but because it was cleaned, if you come home, you can see what is showing. Showing currency. That's the data type here. So if here is already currency, it's the same thing that we will show you on your pivot table. So if maybe you've not done it before, or you're having issue, maybe it wasn't showing as currency on your table, so you can just convert all the data on that column, and then after converting, it won't change here automatically. You will now go to data. You go to data tab here. Then I think when you go to data tab, you see this place now. You see where you have refresh all to be blue. So you just click on refresh on it to refresh everything. So any change you have made on your table will now reflect on your pivot table and ultimately your dashboard. Sometimes, most times you be creating dashboards for real-time data. So as people are making sales, daily sales, it's going to be reflected on the dashboard. All these charts will be changing. The chart might be like this. Maybe United States might be high in the morning. In the evening, United Kingdom might be higher. You understand? So you just do your refresh, and that should sort out your issue. Okay, thank you, Ukoma. Yeah, so I said we want to create like a line chart here. All right, so I'll click on my pivot table, which I created. Then I'll come here. We want to work with date. So I can click on date like this. Then let's work with revenue. So we can be able to calculate you can be able to see the revenue that was made each day, revenue that was generated each day. So this is it. This revenue that was generated each day. All right. But the chart is not this chart we need. This is a column chart. We don't need a column chart. Right? We need a line chart because it's better to use a line chart. A line chart is what we normally use to show trends, changes in trend. All right, showing to show trends in data. So we'll select the chart this way. All right, then we'll go to format. Sorry, yeah, not format. We'll go to design. You select the chart, then you go to design tab. All right, then you see here there's a place where you have change data, change chart type. You click on it, and then you go here to line chart, and then you select your line chart, and to give you this. All right, so you just select OK. All right, so this looks good. All right, but it's possible we don't want, which we already know this is for December. Let me zoom in so you guys can see. Since we already know that this is for December, it's just 1 month. I don't think there's a point of repeating 2021. You understand? The year and the month again. There's no need for that. You can just work with the days. Now from the data set, now you can see that it was already brought out for. So we have the date here, we have the day, we have the month, we have the year. All right, so we can just decide to work with the day instead of the date here. All right, so if I go to pivot now, go to this pivot sheet, sorry, I'll click on this my data. All right, then I'll come down here, and then I'll come down here, and instead of that date I selected, I'll remove date, and then I'll select day. All right, so you notice something now. The day is not, it's not showing me, it's not showing me my line chart, and that is because that day field here is not, it's not on my, it's not on my table as date. You understand? The format is not date. You can see the difference. It's on general, so it's supposed to be number. So you can see here is date, here is day. All right, here is general. So that is why it's not showing that way. So it's picking it as, Excel is picking it as a number. So immediately I selected it, I didn't drag, I just selected. And so immediately I selected it, it moved it to this values side, this place for values, meaning it's calculating, it's going to sum the days together, and that's not what we want. Right? So what we can do is, you see, you went to do sum of day, and I don't really need it to do. If you come to this page where you have values, you went to do sum of day, and I don't need to do sum of day. I only need to do sum of revenue for the whole day. You understand? So I can just come here now. I'll hold it here, and I will drag it to this axis area. And you can see immediately I dragged it, it has moved it, so that it has identified it as an axis and not a value. Another thing you can do to avoid such from happening is, instead of just sticking it like the way I'm doing here, you can just drag it yourself. You just drag it from here down to the field you want it to be in. All right, instead of putting it, instead of it taking it there, because as far as it's a number that can be calculated, as far as a number, and you want to use it in a pivot table, it will just be moved straight to values and not category. All right, so I think if you look at this now, this looks better, but there's something that looks strange here. Can somebody identify anything that's wrong with this chart? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we see now.
What?
I think it's that blank in bracket.
That blank. Thank This blank now, it doesn't belong here at all. It's evidence here because the data was not properly cleaned. So these are the kind of issues you can encounter if you don't clean your data well. There should be no blank in your data set. So if you come to data set now, you can see where the blank is. The blank is on this day here. Like if I check down, there's no more blank again. All right. So another thing you can do when you notice something like that, notice data is not so large. So you can just come here. When you know something like that, just go to your filter. All right. So select all and see all the blank data. Blanks. So I want to see blanks. Okay. So we've seen it now that this is the only blank that is here. And then we can easily fill it because we know that, remember, this is day. So this is like a subset of this date. So you can just come here now and put 5. Because that is the only change that needs to be done there. So after putting 5, we can take off our filter. But we still have 5 there. So if you come here now to look at your pivot chart, it's not going to change. It's still going to be blank. Unless you go to data here and then you refresh all. So you can see immediately I refreshed all, now it has left there. So any change you make on your table would not reflect on your pivot table unless you refresh it. All right, so I think this looks good. We can come here now and let's remove our grid lines. This legend, we don't need the legend here, so we can take it off. All right, what else? Okay, then we can come here now and this field, come here, remove, hide all fields value. Then since remember we've already taken off December, so December is not showing here again. So we can just simply put December in the title, so to make it easier, make your chart look more presentable. So we can call this December's or sales for December or sales trend. Yeah, I think that's better. Sales trend for December. All right, so that's it. So now we have 2 charts here that we are ready to move to the other page. Okay, but we didn't name this. Forgot to name this. So let's name this give it the same name we named our chart. I want to name this pivot table. All right, so we'll go to the pivot analyze. And then we can call this same thing. Say December's sales trend. Sales trend. All right, so now we can move our charts away from here. And there was one we did the other time, which was, I'm looking for it, I can't find it. I think top 5 products, yeah. But we went to name it revenue by product. Since it's already top 5 products, we don't need to leave it this way. So we can just take from here. Let's change the name to top 5 products instead of leaving it as revenue by product. So we change it to top 5 products. All right. So let's come here now. This is it now. I want to move it to the next page. So just select it. Select the 2 charts. I'm holding shift. You hold shift while selecting it. When you notice that this line with circles is around it, if you don't hold shift, it will move. When you notice that the line with the circle is around it, you just take off your so I move to another one while holding shift. So I'm going to right click and cut. If you don't want to do this, you can simply do Ctrl X, and then I'll go to the next page, look for anywhere suitable there, and I will paste it. All right, so we have this here. So I can move this here now. I can move this to my dashboard. So when we started creating, this is just the simple thing we did in the previous class. For those that did not follow, right? So when we were creating the dashboard, what we started with was a plain shape, just a rectangle, colored it green, and we just inserted it. You have to insert shapes now. Just go here, go to illustration, and then because already on, and then you select the shape you want, which was a rectangle. That's what we picked. All right. I think what might be a bit tricky for you guys would be the KPI. I'll redo it again. All right, so that was what we did here. Okay, so for the KPI, what we did was for the KPI, what we did was we inserted. First thing was at the pivot table. We first created pivot tables for each. Inserted pivot tables for each to represent each KPI. I'm trying to zoom my screen. So we first inserted a pivot table for each KPI. This was for the revenue. This was for the order quantity, which is the total number of bikes. So then this was for the profit. All right. Then instead of referring, because most times when you are trying to reference a pivot table, a cell in a pivot table, you usually have issues with it. You understand? You usually have issues with the cell in pivot when you're trying to reference them on your dashboard. So most times it's advisable you just reference it in a cell first. You understand? So that's what I did here. I said here was equal to this sum of revenue here. Because this here is a pivot table, but this is just a cell that is referencing that cell in the pivot table. You understand? So I did the same here. I said here was equal to, you can see the formula, equal to BD10, which is here. Then the same thing here. This is equal to BG10. Right, let me check if I have questions. Okay, no questions. All right, so that was what we did at that time. So we now reference these cells in our dashboard. And what we did was to we inserted a text box. Now you go to insert, you come to illustrations here, then you go to shape, and then select a text box. And then you drop a text box somewhere. I've lost it already. If you don't write in your text box after inserting it, it will just go. So once you get a text box, you select what you want it to be. I want it there. So you start what you want. What we want now, we want to reference those cells having those KPI. So I wrote equal to, not in the text box directly. You put it in the formula bar, but you need to ensure that the text box is being selected. So to reference that cell, start putting equal to on the formula bar. I went to the sheet, right? And let's say we want to do revenue now. So the equal to is still there. The formula bar is the same for the selected cell or text box, even if you go to another sheet. All right, so I selected it here. Let's say we chose this one, not the pivot. Yeah, this particular cell. And then I'll just click enter. Let me go back here and I click enter. No, it's not working. Okay, so let me just do it again. All right, I think I might have gone to select the cell mistakenly, or I went to write in text box. So It's taking it there or something. Okay, there's already something there. So the formula is like, what is in, okay, that is what happened. What the space here is contradicting my formula. Okay, so with the text box here now, said you go here, you put equal to, and then you come to the sheet and you select it, and then you click enter. That's how I got the KPI that you are seeing here now. So to put it in a box like this, in a square, in a rectangle like this, I just inserted the shape, put them together, and then I grouped them. All right. Then I inserted another text box to show for total quantity, and then I selected all the text box and the shape together, and I grouped them. So that was basically what we did in the previous class. So now let's get down to business here. All right. So we want to start working on our dashboard now. We've gotten everything together. We want to start arranging them. Okay, arranging what we have here. Then we can also we also arrange. In fact, this is the process where the time you insert your slicers and your timeline if you want. All right. So what we can do here now is let's create space for our KPI. Right. So we can put the KPI. You can put the KPI. You can design it anyhow. I'll just show you guys just so you can see this here. So I'm going to move all this here in KPI. So when you are moving, for these ones that are grouped, when you are moving, ensure that it's just one line that is around the rectangle. Otherwise, you have an issue moving, like what I'm having right now, what I'm experiencing right now. Let me see. Okay, so I can have space. I'm having an issue selecting it. Okay. So I'm simply just trying to arrange it so I can look okay, because you can't present a dashboard like this. In fact, it's not even appealing. It's not appealing at all. So immediately they see it, they will lose interest. So when you are moving things, when you are moving your visuals or whatever it is you have there, you can hold your Alt key. So your Alt key will help to give your visuals a better alignment on your dashboard, so you don't have too much space or issues with border. So it just look the same. So this one now is just for what we are doing. Sometimes I think you can actually you do research, you can get access to some things. So, but it's good you understand the basic concepts of designing the dashboard before you start using already made things. All right, so that's for that. Then for the slicers we inserted, I'll take this off. People that are with me that are the workbook I sent can just be following my steps. Okay. So I'm going to take this off. I want to take off these two slicers, so I'll insert them again. But for I think the other day we used customer age for this slicer. But customer age is not a good slicer to use. Instead of using the customer age, you can just simply use the customer age group. Right. So I'm taking that off. Right, and insert them again. So we have I told you if you want to insert a slicer, what you need to do first is you select the chart you want to slicer to slice. So a slicer is like a filter. It's not like a filter. A slicer is a filter. The filter we use on our dashboard is called a slicer. Right. So you select the chart you want your slicer to affect. So let's say I want to start with this. Then I'll go to insert, then I'll come to slicer here. And I will choose what I want to slice my visual by. What I want to filter my visual by. All right. I think we picked country that day. So you can add country there. All right. So we can also insert another one now. Let's say you can insert the age group. The age group. Instead of age, we used age before, so we can use age group instead. It makes more sense. So insert the age group. So we have two slicers here. All right. Then we can also insert the timeline. So I'll come here to insert. Or let me leave the timeline first. We'll just work on it. So I said the slicer here will affect only the visual that you select. Like now, if I come here now and I say, okay, I want to see the sales now for sales of our bike products to people that are aged 35 to 64. So I'll just select it. And you can see it's only this visual that is being affected. But I want it to affect all the charts on my dashboard. Right, so for me to do that, I will select the slicer and then I will right click. So make a right click, you go to report connections. And I will now start selecting all the visuals I want my slicer to, all the charts I want my slicer to affect. All right, so that's what I'm doing right now. So now if I touch anywhere here now, anyone I select, you can see it's affecting all of them. So I'll close it back. So the same thing will happen to the country. The country will affect only the visual I selected at first. So I'll right click on it, then I'll go to report connections. All right, then I'll select December. I'll select all the pivot charts, all the pivot tables. You see, because we named them, that's why they are appearing here, named. Assuming you didn't name them, they will be appearing as pivot 1, pivot 2, pivot 3. And then you won't know what you're actually filtering or what you're selecting. So this one now is working for all the visuals, which is good. You can also notice if you look at it now, that is why you don't just say you want to do like what we did here now for our KPI. You can as well say you want to do is equal to sum. Let's say you want to do sum of bike sales, sum of bike sales, revenue. Oh, this is a square bracket. Sum of bike sales revenue. Yeah. Now, so it's tempting. It's tempting to want to do this. All right. But the problem with this is you cannot connect a slicer to it. You cannot connect a filter to it. So it will just be there. It won't change. You can see that it has changed to 20,000 here because I sliced it. If I come back here now and I turn off this filter, this slicer, I'll just come here at the top of the slicer. Let me zoom so you guys can see. At the top of the slicer here, you see this filter here, I'll just click clear filter. All right, then I'll come back and see it has changed back to 3. So it won't work for this. That's why you cannot do this. Don't go and do sum here. You have to work with a pivot table if you are using it on your dashboard. All right, so now we can start arranging everything on our dashboard. Then we'll also format the visual because you can see you are seeing green here, you are seeing blue here. It doesn't look nice. It doesn't look presentable. Then remember here, I think I was trying to show you guys something in the last class. I said the way these figures are looking, they're not looking nice. You can start to change their orientation. As for this particular chart, so now is chart formatting. You can set to change the orientation. This one now is the numbers. So they're not looking okay. So you just select the figures, right? Then you can come here. You can come here to axis options. All right. Then when you get to axis options, you look for orientation. Orientation will tell you how it is turned. Okay. Sorry, alignment. Rather. So you just select it, and then you go to your axis option. And you see alignment. You see text. Under alignment, you see text direction. So you can come here now and change it to horizontal. If this is what you want. Alright, if this one you can change it to this. Okay, but I don't think this looks good either. Right, so we can just do something else. We can just simply take it off since it's making it looking too jam-packed in this. You can come to our visual, select the visual, go to this plus sign here, come off, and then we take off our axis. Take off the axis. So you select, if you want to take it off, you just go to this side and you select which one you want to take off. I want to take off only the horizontal one, which is the ones with the numbers. All right, so I'll come here and I will take off primary horizontal, and that one will go. All right, so I've taken off my axis now, but I still need to know the figures that are here because this can be 300, it can be 3,000, but we don't know. And so we just come in now. Let's use that data labels inside instead. So you can put data labels like this. Okay, if you don't want it like this, you can still change how the data labels look. We can put this data label that you're seeing here inside the chart itself. Right, so you can come here where we have data labels. When you want to make a change to a particular option here, you just look at the side, you see this sign here, you select it. So this one now is at the outer end. You can put it inside those bars there. So you can put at the inside end. So now it's at the inside end. The only problem is the color is black. That way you can't see it clearly, but it's there. If I zoom in, yeah, you can see it now. It's there, but the color is black. It'll be green. So you just select one. Once you select one, you select all of them. Then you come here to text options. All right, you select solid fill. And then you go here to the paint bucket and change the color. Let's say you can change the color to, can change the color to white. So it can be visible. Now it's visible and it makes more sense. Okay, so let me zoom out. Let me zoom out now. So what I said was we are arranging the elements of our dashboard just to make it look nice. All right, so you can put this here. And put this here. This here. And you can design yours. Please, if you're for those that downloaded the workbook, you can just still do the same thing on your own end instead of just tearing. All right, so we have this here. Can make this longer. So I want to arrange them. If you have any questions, meanwhile, as I'm doing this, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Are there any questions from pivot table or pivot chart? Any questions? Okay. Okay. Ubedo Kingsley, ask a question.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. How you doing?
Very well, thank you. So I actually need some assistance. The version of my Excel is quite low. So finding it difficult to get the slicer. So I don't know if there is any other way to get it from a lower version.
I don't know. What about this one? 8.
Seven.
What about 7? Wow,
Yes.
that's. I really don't know. I don't have any other way.
Okay, no problem. That's fine. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So, I think we're done with. We've done enough, but no. Let me. Let's start formatting it. Please mute your mic. Can start formatting it now. Okay. So since this space is our background is blue, is in green. We don't need this to be blue. We can make this to be green as well, or any color you want. So you can pick a color. So if you want to change the color of the bars, you can just simply select them. Go to the bar, you select the bar. All right. Then you come to this edge here and you choose solid fill. Where you have format data series, go to this paint bucket here, paint bucket, and you select solid fill. All right. It already filled it with green. But assuming the green color was not there, you can still select it and pick the color you want. If you want orange, you can put orange. Any color you want, you put there. If you want blue, your choice. But and this one is bright, so it's not too nice. Okay, so we have green there. Green is okay. You can do the same thing. You can do the same thing for the axis. You can even make this your axis to be bold with Control B. So after doing that, you can come here and then come to the home section here, and then you increase their sizes to make it clearer. I think I stopped selecting it already. Can increase the sizes here to make it clearer. All right. So you can do that. You can do the same thing for these ones. Change the color of the bars. Change the color of the bars to whichever color you want. The solid fill is very question. Make it solid fill. This one I didn't change to blue, so I'll come here now and I'll pick the color I want, which is green. You can use any color for yours. Yours doesn't have to be green. Yeah, so I'll do the same. You can also change the color of your axis if you want. You can change the color of your title, whatever it is you want to change. You can change it. Just click on it. Then you go to the edge. Immediately click on it. The option, this panel will come out. So you just go down, you make the change you want to make. If you also don't like this chart, you can also change the way your chart looks. You can leave this one like this if you want. But this green is looking different from the other green. Then if you want to also change the color of your line here, you want to edit the line, you just select the line, right? You come to solid fill, the same process, and then you select the color you want. It has changed to green. All right, so that any change you want to make to your line, you can make. If you want, maybe you want to add markers to it. You don't want it to be plain. You can come here now. You select marker, and it will go down. And you can add automatic marker. You can choose the kind of marker you to be there. So you select built-in. You can choose the marker you want. You want a square marker, whatever it is you want. can select the size you want. You can see it. You can see the markers appearing. So those are the spots on the chart. If that is what you want, you can do it that way. So we've done this, and you can also still change the color self of this one. Just that instead of changing this one, you can just come here and just select the chart. Go to design. That is for the pie chart. Go to design. When you go to design to give you this option, you can still use these options too for your other charts if you want. You can start to have different shades of green. Whatever it is you want, you can pick and it will be reflected here. I think I actually prefer it. Let's say maybe the green can be the bigger part. Okay, whichever, but to also show here. You can make here bold. You can change the name of your title and the rest to make it look better. You can increase the size, okay? But we'll not be doing all that because of time. But you can do it on yours. Then here for our sliders. Okay. You can also change the color of your slicer if you want. Select the slicer. You go to slicer here. You can make it green if it's green you want. If your own is blue or orange or purple, whatever, you can change yours as well. Right, so we can also insert a slicer. Let's insert a slicer for the product. All right, I'll tell you why we should insert the slicer for it. Let's insert. You select the chart you want to. You can use any chart. Select the chart you want to use. All right, then you come here and you can insert. You select slicer. And I said you want to use product. So let's look for product as product description. And I say okay. So this one now is the slider for the products. We can change the color. All right, and then we can now report connections to make it so I can slice the other chart when we use it. So we report connections here. I hope I'm audible. I'm talking to myself. Can you guys hear me? All right. Let me see. I think I got feedback. You guys can hear me, right? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. Just wanted to be sure. Okay. So I'm excited. I've recorded the connections. That means I've connected it to all my charts now on this dashboard. So now I can test it. I can test the. Let's see if it's working. Yes, I think it's working for everything. Yeah. So that's good. So I can cancel it. I can clear the filter. Okay, then you observe something now. Immediately I clear the filter, the slicer, the this particular chart, which is the product chart, it lost its filter. Right? It's no longer showing the top 5 it's supposed to show. Let's even change the name. Initially it was showing top 5, but now it's no longer showing top 5. Top 5 selling products. And that is because the slicer here is the product slicer. All right. And most times the slicer usually cancels whatever filter you already applied, because slicer here is just like a filter. So if you've already applied a filter, it's like filtering something that's already been filtered. It will just bring it back to its original state, which is this here. So this slicer now cancel the filtering we did on our pivot table, right? Which is here. Going back to the pivot now. Let me try and filter it again. So we apply the filter then. What we did here was top 5. Top 5. What we did here was top 5. All right. If I go and filter it again, okay, so it's filtering it. If I now say, okay, let me cancel the filter, the slicer, to change it back. All right. So it's like, imagine you have filtered rice, and then you go and filter it again, and then you pour it back. You understand? It's like you are mixing everything back again. Okay, so what you cannot do to avoid this kind of issue from happening is you will remove the filter. This particular product slicer, sorry, you remove this slicer from this chart. So you know this chart is top 5 selling products. You come here, you select the slicer, you go to your report connections, and then you go and look for that top 5. Now you see why it is very important to name your pivot table. Because even we didn't name our pivot table, we have been doing trial by error. You understand? We'll cancel one, we'll go and test it, we'll cancel another one. But since we named it, we don't need to stress ourselves. So you just come here now. We already know this is top 5 products because we named our pivot table. So you remove the mark from there and you select OK. So this now will no longer slice that top 5 selling products. Then you cannot go back to your pivot table and then change it to top 5. Alright, so this now will no longer affect it. Will no longer affect this chart. But the other ones will affect the chart. The other ones will affect it. And let's say, for example, as you are slicing, for now it's just one. If you want to, maybe now you are seeing the details for Germany. All right, you are seeing the sales for Germany and everything. Assuming maybe you want to see for Australia and Germany, you just come here where you see multi-select. You select it like that. So once it's yellow, you cannot come here and select Australia. So the details will now show you now is for Germany and Australia. Now you want to add the United States. So now I show you details for Germany, Australia, and United States. Right. So if you want to cancel it, you can cancel it. And then if you don't want it to be on multi-select, you go back to this place that is yellow. And then you unselect it. Right. So that's it. Then we can also insert our timeline here as well. Let's insert a timeline. So the same process for inserting a slicer is the process you use in inserting a timeline. Okay, so you select the chart you want to use. You can use any chart. You can use this one. Let's use this one. So you can select this chart. You go to your insert, and then you select timeline. Okay, so the timeline is just like a filter for dates. Okay, so you select the date. You select this option here, which is dates, and then you put OK. So this is a date slicer. The date timeline. This is timeline now. Okay, so I'll show you what it does. Let me just can change the color as well. Can select it. Go here, change the color to green. If that is what you want. I think I even picked the wrong shade. So if you come here now, you will see that it's showing for all periods. But if you click on here, it's not making any change. Let me give it August 2021. The slicer will work. The timeline will work for a whole year to show you months for a whole year. All right. If you check here now, if I select, I need you guys to see what I'm doing along with the dashboard. Let me take this off first. All right. So if I select for October, nothing is happening. All right. For this particular chart, see, it's empty. Chart is empty for July. So let's report connections first before we start doing anything. So I can slice every visual on my dashboard. So I'm reporting connection right now. Okay, so this is supposed to work. So you can see now, American selecting June, July. Everything is clear. Everything is blank because there was no sales June, July, September, and November. It's only in December, right? But if you leave it at this level for the month now, it's not really doing anything for us. Okay, so we need to work for the days of the month because we're working with only 1 month's data. So To do that now, you just go. You see where you have months here. There's a corner. There's a place here. I don't know if you guys can see my screen very well. There's a place where we have months. Let me see. No questions. There's a place where we have months here. So you just come here and you select it. The minute you select it, you see to give you option for years, quarter, months, days. And what we want is days because that's what we have on our data set. Working with what we have. And then we select days. Okay, so if you see now it has changed. You're not seeing for November and December only, but you are seeing numbers now for the December. You're not seeing the days in December. So if I now say I want to select for 21st of December, you can see it. You can see how it's appearing. You can see how it's appearing. All right, so if I want to cancel it, the same process. You come here, this filter here, you come here and you clear filter, and then you can cancel it. So you can insert whatever it is you want to insert to your dashboard. You can also insert images. You can insert shapes. You can insert icons. Whatever it is you want to insert, you can insert it. So let's see. Can insert something here. But this is not. It's not very nice. Okay, there is a better way to do it too. But because of time, what time when you are working with dashboard, you see the way the distance between each visual should be equal. But that means the border should be the same. So that's why I said when you are expanding your visuals, you should press the Alt key down. So it will just help you to work with the lines here, the grid. All right. So move this here. Let's see. So it can just be a bit centralized. I don't know what is this thing right here. So can also insert images. You want to insert any image you want. You can insert an icon. I can come here now. Insert. Come here, illustration. I can come here. I can say icon. So let's allow it to load. This. Oh, I've lost. Look, I can't see my screen again. Yes, there's attendance. I'll show it shortly. I know. I'm aware, Shaga. I lost network on my PC. That's why. So I'm joining again. I'm sending the attendance right now. Yeah, I'll show it now. Okay, yes, someone has shared it already. Thank you, Samuel. Okay, so we're back. All right, so this is our dashboard. I think this is looking good. So I said we can insert icons here. So let me see. You just select this cell. Or select anywhere out there. Then you go to your illustrations. You can say okay. You can insert shape. You can insert a picture. If that is what you want. For those that design. So let's say I want to put like since we're working with bike. All right. I use anyone. Insert. Where is the bike? Oh. So you just carried can also change the color if you want. You come to graphics format while you're selecting your bike. So you come to graphics view here, and then you can change it to green if that is what you want. So easy to you can make any change you want to your dashboard. Then when you are done designing it, when it's so lovely, it can be better than this. So this is not a very wonderful dashboard, but at least I know you guys understand what I've done here. So when you are done, to avoid the situation whereby everything is just separate, because now you can't move everything at once. So you hold your shift key. So you start selecting all of them one after the other. Don't know, I think maybe okay. I've made a mistake. All right. So I said you hold your shift key and then you start selecting them one after the other. One after the other. So you select everything that's on the dashboard, including your image, whatever it is there. That's there. Then you select the background as well. Ensure that this line with circles is surrounding everything. All right. Then you will now go to where you have shape format. You go to shape format. Then you come here where you have arrange and you select group. So you group it. So immediately you group it. You see now everything is not as if everything is one. You see, everything is not as if everything is one. So you don't have to be picking them. You can still select them individually, but they will still be grouped as one. There will still be that line. So as if you're just dragging it out of the group, but there will still be that line. Like if you drag this one, it will still come out too. But you can see something here. This line at the edge is expanding with it to telling that it is in the group. So no matter where you take it to, even if you take it to the end of the sheet, it is still with this group. All right. So if you want to move everything there, all you need to do is just tap on your dashboard once. Don't tap on it twice. If you tap on it twice, it will select one of the elements inside. Just tap on your dashboard once. And when you see that it's surrounding these bubbles, then you can now decide to now move it. Move it anywhere you want to. Okay. What happened was why only the background moved is because I selected it twice. So you can see it is showing two bubbles, meaning the background and the group, or the background inside the group. So just select it once, like this is showing one bubble, then you move. You can try to right click it after selecting it everything at once, and it's only one bubble that is showing, only one circle in this line that's surrounding. You can decide to copy it, you understand, or save it as a picture and send it to somebody. Whatever you want to do, can do it that way. You get. So I believe now we have successfully created this dashboard. So let's successfully designed our dashboard. We are going to move into extracting observations and recommendations on this dashboard. Does anybody have a question? Ashaka, ask your question.
Okay, ma. I was following till my network began to fluctuate. After highlighting, I didn't understand how you did the grouping.
Okay, after you highlight it like this, you go to where you see shape format. Select shape
Okay,
format. Then you come here under this group where you have arrange. You now select group.
okay,
Come
thank
here,
you.
group.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Is there any other question? Is there any other question? Ask your question now. I won't come back to dashboard.
Yeah, okay. Good evening, ma'am.
Evening.
Yeah, so after exporting it into a picture, right, as you did,
Yeah. I
yeah,
did
will
I
it still be
told
responsive?
no. I didn't export as a picture. I just told you you can save it as a picture. I didn't export it.
Okay. You can save it as a picture. So if you save it as a picture, can it still be responsive?
No, you cannot.
Okay, it will be static. Okay.
Yeah, because it needs to be connected to the data.
Okay.
There's no data.
Okay. At that time, once it is a picture, it's no longer connected to the data. It's just a
No,
picture.
it's like a screenshot.
A screenshot. Oh, right. Okay.
Okay, so is that all? Are we done with the question? Is there another question?
Uh, Hello, I have a question. I just want to make an appeal, please. I have been on the road since, and I've been on stereo. I've been listening through my phone, but I couldn't really see, concentrate on the visual. I just want to appeal that after this time, you help me with the video on the platform so that I can, you
Yeah,
know,
this video will be available.
do a proper review.
This video will be
Okay,
available. Yeah. Why the delay in the other one? I told you because we need to work on the video. No, there was a lot of
okay,
options for the other one, so that's why.
okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay. I also have another question. Sorry.
All right, go ahead.
Good. So, I just want to ask. Maybe I missed it though, but if you have not explained it, probably to help. Is it like this dashboard now? I know
Yeah,
it's all has to do with the data behind it, right? Behind the scene, right?
yeah,
Good. So now let's assume as as the month pass by, sales continue to happen months in, months out, and as they are happening, already this dashboard has been created.
yes,
So as the sales are changing, as they are
yeah,
changing, the dashboard is going to be changing along, right?
yes,
It's
yes,
called more like automated, right?
yes. As long as you refresh it, yes,
Okay, you have to refresh it
you refresh it. If it doesn't,
manually.
I think there's a way you can set it. The way you can set it,
Aha.
just be refreshing with time. So you set they call it timely refresh. So when you do that, it will just be refreshing with time. But
That
that is not the case. You
ah,
can just refresh it. I think it's actually best to refresh it because at least you want to view your dashboard. You just not it's not difficult.
okay,
Anything that's been
okay,
done now will affect the dashboard. If it doesn't affect it, you refresh. But once you
okay,
turn it on back, it will that one is an automatic refresh.
okay. I think the automatic refresh will be more like it because like just for example, like the data analyst, okay, may
Mm,
not be not much concerned about this. That's the I don't know, is it the data analyst, the data scientist? I don't know. So that's the person working with the data, raw data there, and the person viewing now, okay, interpreting, because like you taught us, like you people taught us, in one of the sessions,
yeah,
that the visualization of data makes it easy for for people, even somebody that's not technical, to understand or
yeah,
to resonate with whatever is happening, rather than just seeing numbers and all that,
yeah,
which is very correct. So like the data analyst now is now working with the data, changing whatever inputting the data there, and somebody else is watching
your work
the
your work is not to include data. Data people that I think they are called data entry specialists. Your
okay. What of ingestion, data ingesting data? Is it also the same
thing,
thing?
what I mentioned, what might involve the data analysis, maybe data collection, not data entry.
Okay, fine. Whichever way, what I'm trying to say, whatever we are doing now, okay, is data analysis, right? Good,
Yes.
good, if I'm correct. What I'm saying is, when somebody, like a layman, for in this case, is watching the dashboard, that's we are doing it maybe for him to be able to see in the dashboard and make sense of what we are doing. So like that automatic change probably, and what I mean is, as you are doing it, he's seeing what's going on. As you are changing the whatever the data, the new data is coming in, and being analyzed, he's seeing how the dashboard is changing, as you, just like you were doing. So
There,
I think,
there's
yeah.
there's no layman in this matter. Most times, if you want it to be an automatic one, maybe if it is on Google Sheets, you understand?
Yeah.
Online is automatic. You get.
Okay.
Yes, you can. I think if you're using Power BI, you can set automatic refresh and the rest. But there's nothing about layman. A layman too knows that the first alphabet is A and the last one is Z. You can still just direct him. Go there. If you can view the dashboard, why can't you just go to data? What is it? Go to
Okay,
data.
so okay, I get you. But so you mean even with macros, even with a kind of using macros to it cannot be automated, you know?
It can be,
Yeah.
but you will do research for that. It's not everything will
Okay,
tell you
I understand.
yeah,
I just want to know. I just want to know if it is possible. That's
yes,
just why I'm asking.
yes, it is very
All
possible.
right.
And
Okay. Okay.
if it is
Yeah.
online, you understand? If you're working,
Apart from online, without online, like
that one,
macros. I mean macros
yes,
in Excel, in Microsoft Excel.
yeah,
Macro.
I know. It's what.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, no, now so we'll be moving to Asaga. What was your question? Please, like 2 minutes, so I can move forward. Okay, no question. Thank you. All right, so now we're moving to extracting observations and recommendations from Excel dashboards to create insightful dashboards that drive decisions. All right. So, why does a dashboard matter? A dashboard provides a quick snapshot of key metrics to help stakeholders make informed decisions. All right. It is important because it centralizes data insights for quick decision making. Right? Sorry, just give me a minute. Okay, sorry, I was a bit cold. I need to lock the windows. All right, so it's important because it centralizes data insights for quick decision making. All right, so immediately anybody sees your dashboard, they can easily make decisions. You understand? It can be easy for you to draw insights from what they can see instead of those numbers, instead of just only your even your pivot table self. You cannot compare your pivot table to a dashboard where you can easily say, oh, okay, this is it, and then you can drill further to get more info from that dashboard. All right, so you can use a dashboard to track performance against goals in real time, like our friend was saying just now, whereby as it is changing, you are reviewing it from your own end. You understand? You can also use it to communicate trends, patterns, and anomalies clearly. So if there's a problem, you easily see it. If the sales at this particular day, there's something strange, it was just ridiculously low. And let's say you own a farm, you know that there's a problem. That maybe your livestock they are dying, or there's just a problem, or something is going on, or somebody is sending it to another direction. You understand? So with the dashboard, you can easily identify those stuff. All right. So understanding stakeholder expectation is very important. That when you are creating your dashboard, you are working with you are working with a goal. You are working with the direction of your stakeholder. Working with direction of the person that told you to create that dashboard. Because you can have a data set containing sales, profits, maybe even reviews, customer review, rating, and whatever you can have a data set containing a lot of fields, a lot of data, a lot of columns, but you're not supposed to dive into what you are not told to do. Because by doing that, you make your dashboard to look like it doesn't have direction. It's not like it's just everywhere. You should be directed, you should be working towards the goal of your boss and not your own. You not say, okay, this is here, I can do this. So yes, we just created a dashboard now. And I think at first there was no major objective, but in a real life scenario, right, there will be an objective for you. It's not just go and just create a dashboard for me with this data set. No, that's how it's going to be. Most times there will be a problem. Like, okay, create a dashboard that can show me the sales for so time, or that can help me answer this particular question. And it will be your own job to do that dashboard, not a random dashboard, right? So the slide says you should tailor your dashboard to your boss's specific question or goals. Key performance metrics that align with organizational objectives, right? Audience preference, e.g., detailed versus summary insight. So what this one is saying is the dashboard you will do for the public. You understand? Like somebody can say, okay, automating calculations and visualization. Okay. Somebody can say that they want to analyze a public data because the government actually publishes data sets. FAO, that is FAO publishes data set. A lot of government organizations, they publish data sets for, I think, they do for food, like for agricultural product, they do for health. You understand? Maybe people with cancer, cases of diabetes and the rest. So they publish this data. So somebody can say, okay, I want to analyze the data and create this data set and create a dashboard. You understand? Some of them can use Google Looker Studio, for example. So that's one is an online platform for dashboard creation, right? So they can create and say anybody can go there. You can access it. You can slice. You can see the data. You understand? So that is a public data set. So most dashboards like that, they usually have a lot of written notes because not everybody will understand it. You get there are some visual now you can use that might be very confusing, but you have to write notes that this visual here shows this. You understand? For those people to get. You understand? It's different from that's what you create for that kind of situation. It's different with that's what you create for a business analyst. You understand? Like I said, data analysis is part of the data process. You understand? So what the data analyst will do is to create the dashboard, get observations, get some recommendations. You understand, from the dashboard. But it is a business analyst that will now dive in to get those hidden facts. You understand? And then now compare them with the real data, with the real stuff that's going on in the company and the rest. So that's what the business analyst does. So the business analyst is already skilled, already understands the metrics, already understands the visuals and what they need. So you may not need so much info for them. That dashboard is also different from the dashboard that you will create for a HRO manager, that is human resource manager. And let's say you might say human resource manager may say, okay, you are the company data analyst. Please create a dashboard to help me monitor the performance of employees in the different departments, in the various departments in our company. So that's what you create for the HRO manager. It's also different. It's also different compared to the one that you create for your CEO. You understand? So that's what this audience preference is saying. Detailed versus summary insights is different. It's depending on your audience, depending on who you are creating that. Right. So checklist for success is: does the dashboard address the business problem? That is, after you have created your dashboard, you should ask this question when you are looking at your dashboard, because before you will present what you have done, you have to view it, right? You can also give to a colleague to view for you. So you should ask yourself, does it address the business problem? All right. Is it user friendly and visually appealing? That means, is it something that the user can easily work with? So you don't understand that, okay, these are the slicers, this is where the slicers are. Did you position it? All those kind of things, they actually matter. So you guys can do more research on how really to make your dashboard more visually appealing, because there are a lot of rules guiding it. How you place your slicers, how you place your KPI, color color usage, and the rest. There are a lot of rules guiding it. Why you guys can do research on those. So understanding the dashboard layout. Okay, so these are the key sections to understand your dashboard. First ones are the high level metrics, which are your KPI. Then we have the detailed section, which has to do with your charts there and your slicers. You understand that you can use to drill through to see the granularity of your data. Then you also have trend analysis. Trend analysis most times is very important, very, very important, very, very important. It's rare to see a dashboard without trend analysis, without any visual showing it. It's rare, but it's possible, but it's usually rare. You understand? So those are the sections of your dashboard. All right. So characteristics of a good dashboard. All right. A good dashboard is relevant. Okay. It focuses on KPIs that matter. Like I said, your data set may be able to give you a lot of info, but it's the one that matters that is really important. All right. A good dashboard is interactive. It allows for filtering and data exploration. All right. A good dashboard is visually appealing, easy to read, and contains engaging charts. It's not by using a very technical chart, a very, like you have waterfall. There are other charts that are very, very technical. They are nice, they're technical, but can your user understand them? So you don't know that this is what this means, and this. All those things really matter. So it's not by going to design something that is very beautiful. Can they use it? Can they understand it? So a good dashboard is actionable. All right. A good dashboard should be able to provide you with insights that can lead to strategic decisions. All right. So how to extract observations from your dashboard? First, you need to review KPIs for trends. So you view your visuals for trends. Try to notice anomalies or unexpected values. So if you are okay, let's say you're working with your line chart and you're seeing that there's a part where the sales just went up. You should note it. Just have a piece of paper beside your notepad on your PC or whatever. Just quickly note that, okay, within this time there was an increase in sales, or within this time there was a decrease. You understand? Or this particular product, the profit is way low than the average product, or the difference is just so high. You understand? That is like the first thing. The first thing you should just try to view is for anomalies. What is strange in your dashboard? That's one. The next one is compare actual versus expected performance to highlight key insights. So in some cases, they might give you, like I said, every project has a goal. You understand? Any analysis or dashboard project, it has a goal. So at the start, you would have been briefed of what you want to design. You understand? What is expected for you? The problem they want your dashboard to solve. So in that time process of being briefed, you'll be provided with the expected performance. Right. So at some point you cannot put them side by side, right? You cannot put the expected performance versus the actual performance. That can also be in your table. Depends. You understand? Versus the actual performance. All right. So You should also try to understand the context and relate findings to business goals. So it also depends on the kind of data you are working with, right? So the way you will talk about, the way you will look at a health data is not the way you look like an agricultural data. There are two different kind of data from two different sectors. If you even see the way they are even referenced, the way their IDs are even placed, it's very different. So you relate to agri data like an agricultural data analyst, all right? And you relate to the health data like a health analyst, you relate to them differently. Okay, so you should ask key questions. What are the trends? Are there any outliers? Outliers are like extreme value. So your sales for January is $10,000. The one for February, $12,000. The one for March, $8,000. All of a sudden, the one for April, you're having $10. That's an outlier. It is an extreme abnormal value. You understand? So those are things you need to watch out for when you are trying to extract observations from a dashboard. All right. So recommendations. When you are providing recommendations based on your observations, these are what you should do. All right. You need to be specific. You need to focus on clear and actionable recommendations. Right, just go straight to the point. You don't need to cut corners. Okay, this is how you do this. No. Just tell them what you give them your recommendation. Just go straight to the point. All right. Align with goals. Your recommendation should align with the goal of the company or the goal of your project. Right. Tie recommendations to strategic business objectives. Okay. Prioritize prioritization. Okay, address the most impactful areas first. So like I said at the beginning, you have been briefed off. You'll be briefed, or you'll be asked, you might be asked to do research. You understand? If you're not briefed, you might just be directed to a particular department. Okay, go and get info from there and the rest, and then create a dashboard that can address the problem that is being given. So you should address the most impactful. So the company is running a focus. You understand? You should know that is what should be targeting now is how the company can make a lot of profit and not the rating of a particular product. So it depends. All right. So the role of aesthetics in appeal. That is, aesthetics has to do with how your dashboard looks. Okay, how appealing it is to the eye. When you see a fine dashboard, you will be interested. It will call you. You'll be interested to even find out and look. Oh, this is this. You want to even touch. You want to slice. You want to filter through and see what that dashboard is telling you. Like when you see a book with a fine cover, you'll be very interested in it. All right. So aesthetics helps the receiver to quickly grasp key points. So the receiver will quickly understand what is on that dashboard. All right. Use clean visuals to avoid clutter. You don't need to use the ones that are too hard to understand. Use clean ones. They should be evenly spaced. They should be well arranged. It will look so nice when it's that way, and the user will understand what is there properly. All right. So leverage clear charts and simple designs to engage users. Best practices for observation and recommendations. Number one is stay objective. Base your conclusion on data, not assumptions. Keep it simple. Make insights understandable to everyone. Right? It should not be too hard, it should not be too difficult. Focus on impact. Highlight actions that can drive business improvement. Common pitfalls to avoid. Pitfalls, all right? Overlooking key metrics. Focusing on less important data. It's not good for you to overlook those metrics and go and focus on what is not important. All right, so you need to try and always pay attention to those metrics, like your revenue, your profit, total product. You understand? If you're working with employees, okay, you can say, okay, total number of employees, maybe employee years of experience, average years of experience of it. All those are key metrics need to performance, and those are key metrics you need to work with. All right. Ignoring context, not considering external factors. Anything can cause a decline in sales. All right. Anything can cause a decline in sales. Both seen and unseen factors. So it's good to always make sure that you pay attention to all the context there. Assuming trends will continue. So the fact that January or this year the company did well, next year the company did well again, or the sales increased. You're not thinking that the third year the sales will increase. No. Trends it might increase, but you don't have to make an assumption. That is why you're a data analyst. Your thought on it has to be clear, not based on assumption. All right. So tips to avoid pitfalls: double check the data and context, and validate observations. In conclusion, understand what your stakeholder needs to craft effective dashboards. All right. Extract actionable insights and present clear recommendations. Also, it's good to create dashboards that drive informed precision, which is the overall point of going to design that in the first place. All right, so that's the end of my slide. Okay, so very quickly now, I'm going to. Okay, I have a question, but I will share the insights for that one. Kingsley, ask your question.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the presentation and the classes tonight.
You're welcome.
We're truly grateful. Then I want to also appeal that these presentations, can we have it slides
No problem.
for personal consumption? Yeah. Then the one that I think Sammy took us one, Joshua took us one too. They that have slides. I don't know if they can make those ones available for us too.
If you can remember the days, just write the days. So,
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
okay. Is there any other question?
Sorry, can we get the recording for this class later?
You will get it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so for this, our own dashboard that we created, this is just, like I said, normally in the beginning, before you start the project, you'll be briefed on what you need to do. So these are just little observations from the dashboard. All right, so I think from here we can see that you just first bring out the metrics, right? These are observations now. Just first bring out the metrics. It's very simple. It's not difficult at all. All right, so we have total sales quantity of bikes. You can see here that total number of bikes that were sold in December is 187. All right. Total revenue generated in that month is $361,000 roughly. And total profit is $163,000. Total profit is $163,000. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So I said total profit is 163,000 approximately. Then we have a profit margin. You can imagine the total revenue gotten is 361. Out of the total revenue, the profit that is there, that is their take home, is 163,000. When you move the cost, it's a whole lot, almost half the amount. That's very, very good sales. Get, and you wonder why. Maybe that's also why. Maybe that is why they want to analyze December data, because they want to see why they are making so much profit. You get, so that is why from here you can say they have a profit margin of 45%. All right. So product performance, the top selling product from what we see here is, as from this top five, is the Mountain 200 Saver. I think that's like a type of bike. Mountain 200 Saver 46. I think that's what is here. So you need to know in the process of creating a dashboard, looking at data, analyzing data, you be able to bond with your data. All right. So you can see the varieties of the bikes here. The Mountain 200 Black 46, the Mountain 200 Silver. Okay, well, I think what we have is the Mountain 200 Black 46. Go down back. So we have the Mountain 200 Black 46. That's the top performing product. It's a revenue of 71,000. That's a lot out of 361. Considering the number of products that is being sold, number of products being sold, that's actually a lot. All right. So country performance, you can see from the data, you can easily see that the United States has the highest revenue. It generated the highest revenue for the company with a revenue of 133,000 approximately, and a profit of 60,000. So out of the 163,000 made as profit, about 60,000 was from the United States, which is good. The United Kingdom has the lowest with 20,000 and a profit of $9,000. So customer demographics, that is based on the kind of customers that kind of people that buy the bikes. All right. So majority of sales are to the adults between the age of 35 to 64. And the lowest sales were from the youths that were less than 25. So recommendations from this our small dashboard right now. So we have product strategy. We're advising the company to continue to promote the top selling products, which is that it's not the top selling product though. Not black 46. Mountain Black.
It's 46.
Yeah. That's why it's very good to review this stuff. Imagine how you're gonna present this kind of stakeholder. That'd be very bad. I'm trying to edit it, it's not allowing me. Yeah, I think I'll work on it later. But that is why it's very good to review. To review what you are presenting. You can also give it to somebody to also view for you. If it's somebody that can view data, you know sometimes it's not everybody, but data it's not all your colleagues that have the right to view that data. All right. So consider introducing new models or variants to cater for different customer segments. So what this recommendation is trying to say that yes, we have the Mountain 200 Black 46. So maybe that is the variety. Okay, so we should bring in a new model. So maybe they like Mountain 200 Black 46. Maybe we could get Mountain 200 Blue 46. All right. Based on that will be exactly just like creating a variety of the same thing. You get, like, you have let me use Indomie now for example. Most people like buying Indomie table, that is the smallest. So you will not see Indomie, you won't see them go and create a variety, you won't see them go and do Indomie super pack pepper soup or Indomie super pack onions. What you will see is Indomitable pepper soup, Indomitable crayfish, Indomitable onion, and the rest. So the varieties they give is for that particular size, that Indomitable size, because that is the one that most of their customers buy. It's based on data. It's data that has made them to make that kind of decision. You won't see stuff like Hungry Man pepper soup. You might see but it might just be like a test. You get, but bigger smaller because you know that the one that is being bought mostly is that smaller one. You get. So market expansion, focus on increasing sales in Germany and Australia to improve overall revenue and profit. All right. Explore new markets with potential for, because I think United Kingdom should be added here. Customer segmentation. Customer segmentation, all right. Target adults which are 35 to 64 with specific marketing campaigns and product offerings. Develop strategies to attract more youth customers, right? Sales optimization. Analyze the sales trend for December to identify factors influencing fluctuations. Implement strategies to maintain consistent sales throughout the month. Additional consideration. This one is based on the data now, or probably the data department. Data granularity. Data granularity has to do with how what's the word to use for this now? How so has to do with how low in hierarchy your data is. Like for example, now imagine you are working with data that has to do with countries, all right, just the countries. That one is the granularity of that data is a bit low. You understand? Because you're working with country. But imagine you're working with states, working with um, cities, you're working with local government, you're working with villages. Data that have all those kind of um, granular, those kind of details. They are data that have that we call them data with high granularity because they get to the lowest part of the hierarchy. You understand? So what this one is trying to say, consider adding more detailed breakdown, e.g. sales channel. So it's trying to say that it's possible we can also get more insights from how we sell the bikes. You get, it's possible a large amount of our sales is coming from online order. You understand? From orders online. So if a large amount of the sale is coming from online order, it means we don't need so many branches with so many sales reps helping us to sell our bikes because most of them are online. We get. So we also have benchmarking. Compare performance against industry standards or competitors to improve, to identify improvement areas. So it's trying to say we can actually compare how you are doing with other companies that are doing this, that are selling the same product. All right. Customer feedback. We could gather customer feedback to understand preferences and pain points. So from their feedback, we can analyze data from customer feedback. Can you to know the products they like the most or the thing that they don't like, the one that they don't like. You can find out what about that they don't like. Is it that the tire is too heavy, or there's a particular part of the bag that's not just nice, or there's a sound it makes, all those kind of, so those are the kind of things you look at. So by acting on these observations and recommendations, the company can optimize its bike sales strategy and achieve better results. All right, so that is the end of tonight's class. Thank you for joining. Is there any question?
Please, can we resend the attendance list? Thank you.
All right.
Attendance form. Thank you.
Okay, so the attendance link will be open for I think 10 minutes, 5 minutes after the class. At the end of the class, then I will have to um I'll have to lock it. All right, thank you very much for joining tonight's class. I hope you enjoyed the class as much as I.
Thank you for this wonderful presentation.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mama. Mhm.